Hey, how you going? Welcome back. I'm Sharon Dawn, and today we're doing page 21 in the red journal. I feel happy when. And there's quite a few pages in this journal about how you feel and when you feel happy, and the idea is to make you think about it because when you're down, you stay down, and I think of it as a bit like music or notes when you go la 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 la. It goes up. Don't judge me on my singing, please, or my voice, but you feel that going up. And I think of it exactly the same with our emotions. And when we're la or nah, down there, it's really hard to sort of give yourself a bit of a shake and get up. And when you're up here, la 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 la, you feel so much better and you're so much more open to everything, and that's when things manifest in your life more. So that's why it's really important to do the exercises that show you or remind you of when you're happy. The key point is awareness, because we're always going to go up and down. That's just who we are. We're emotional beings. We go up, we go down, we feel good some days, stuff happens. But it's how quickly we're aware to bring ourselves up. So to give you an example, yesterday I got up in the morning feeling awesome, ready to go, getting onto it, going to do so much stuff. And I started trying to work out the pricing for my journal, because what's happened is I've released it. It goes out to bookshops, and I didn't realise that they'll just put on whatever they want. So here's me trying to sell my hardcover quality journal with great paper for as low as I can, and I'm trying to get it for around $35, and I see it for $80 online, and it's deflating. When you're trying to get something out that's important to you and somebody's making a heap of money and really stopping that happening, it becomes a bit disheartening. So yesterday afternoon I felt a little flat, and it's the awareness. I went, oh my gosh, I feel this way, I've got to get out of that. And so I did a couple of things that I really enjoy, and I actually started doing the painting side for this video, and it lifted me up again. So that is the key to everything, as far as I think, is the being aware of where your energy vibration is, where your happiness is, and then trying to just bring it up and then bring it up. And when it does drop down, be really consistent to try and get that up again. And that's how we improve our life. So play along with me. I'm going to do just a little bit of a background and lettering for this next one of I Feel Happy When, because I love just throwing a bit of water and paint on. And I do love finger painting too, but we won't do it in this one. But we're going to do lots of different things as we go along, and I'm just sort of building you up on them. So for those of you who do art, might not be so interesting for you, but I hope you'll just play along anyway. But what I wanted to say, going back to the pricing of this journal and my solution to it, is I'm going to get it up on my website, and I'm going to post them myself, and I can make it cheaper, and I'll do the best deal I can. But other than that, your very best option, seriously, is to get the PDF, create your own art book, have lots of fun. You could get really good paper then, and you could just play and just follow along, and it's not going to cost you a lot of money, and it's enjoyable then. Whereas if I paid $80 for this, I'd be too scared to put anything in it. So sort of defeats the purpose. But anyway, grab your PDF. They're still free at the moment for the month of April. Put your code in, friends, and download your PDF, your red journal, and just have a play. And, even at the supermarket, you can buy an art journal, and they may not be as good a quality. They might be something more like this, and this is just a blank, cheaper binder, but this is great. This is all you need. Paste in the pages that you want to print off and use, and follow along, have fun. Remember, it's all about you. It's all about you connecting with you, doing some writing, doing some art, and having fun. That's all it's about. Right, catch you in a sec. Here we are on our I Feel Happy When page, and I've just done a little border around it with a pen. Well, on this side, what I'm going to do is do a background and let that dry, and then we're going to put a little bit of lettering on it. So I'm using watercolour paints because that's one of my favourites, but you've got to be a bit careful on this paper that you don't put too much water on. So I've just wet my brush, and I just want a really messy background. So I'm just going to put some water on. And this is a typical paint palette for me. It's quite messy. And I'm just going to chuck a bit of blue, and I'm going to chuck a bit of green because I like those two colours. And I'm just going to let it do whatever it wants to do. We only want a mild background. I'm going to put some lettering behind it. Don't worry about splots. When you're free with your painting and just let it happen, it does everything it wants. And watercolours you can mix nicely. The only problem with them is on this sort of paper is it is inclined to bubble a bit. So we're just going to leave that. Now that the background's dry, we're going to write our saying on here, something that inspires us. And we can do that different ways. We can get a book like this. I picked this up at an op shop actually for 20 cents, which is rather handy. Or you can just jump on your Word document, print off something, put whatever fonts you like, print it out, pop yourself a line in. That's if you want to do it straight. You might want to do it on an angle. You might want to do it in a circle. All depends on what you want to write. So I'm just going to go like this. So I've got a few lines, and that's just to keep me relatively straight. And then I'm just going to have a little play, sort of copying this lettering, but I'm not overly fussed about it being perfect. It's all about the fun of it. With my graphic designer, she would say, oh gosh, Sharon, you've got 3 fonts happening there. But I like fonts, so what can I say? I like to play with different things. So I'm just going to start sketching away, and you know, you can really cheat here. You can go, okay, I'm sort of about there, and you could even put tracing paper on it if you wanted. There's all sorts of ways. There's no rules. You just, however you feel comfortable, making it happen for you is what it's all about. So just pencil it in, and I'm going to go ahead and do that, and then we'll put some ink on it. So I've had a little sketch down of some words, and you probably can't see them very well, and that's okay, but just I've done some of them in this watercolour pencil. Instead of a normal B pencil or a soft pencil, I've done it in the watercolour pencil because if I make a mistake, I can get my brush with just a little bit of water, and it's like a rubber. You take it off without breaking the texture of the paper. So I've got this in now, so let's start doing some markers on it, and we're going to choose some colours, and I'm going to use these aqua brushes again. So they're a brush on one end and more of a tip on the other, and we're going to have a little play with them. Now, it's a little bit difficult sometimes showing you because I am left-handed, and of course I write across the page, but I'm sure you'll be able to work it out. So I'm actually going to start here with this word because I've done decorations in it, and so therefore it's more like a drawing, so I can probably work backwards and show you. And I'm just going to be quite loose about it because, again, it's not about being uptight and anything. It's purely about seeing what comes out of you and enjoying that process. And that's what creativity is all about. It's our uniqueness. And I'm really sorry about that background noise, but we are in self-isolation, and my neighbour has decided to renovate his property. So we'll just have to live with that. All right, I'm going to do a few more here, and then I'll come back to you. I'm just using a navy pen now. And see how that plays out on these colours. We're not worrying about what colours go with what at the moment. Just whatever it looks like that's nice for you. Again, this is a journal, and that's the beautiful thing. There are no rules. So what am I going to do on these other words? Well, I'm thinking I'm going to I quite like these colours coming through, and I think I might just colour these little bits in and leave it with the rest of the colour coming through, because then that matches my border over here. And doing these sort of things is often where we get nervous because we're concerned things will go wrong, we make mistakes, won't look very good. Again, your journal doesn't care. I'm going to write my other word here, but I'm a little bit out of line. I can see that, so I'm just going to move it across a little bit and try and remember how I wrote it. Happiness comes from doing the things we love. It's a really good little reminder. Now, what can we do now? We could leave it like that if we want it nice and simple. We could get something like these little stamps. You can pick these up for Nick's down at Kmart, Silly Solly's, Big W, I'm sure, and you could just, put a couple of little stamps on. Alright, and there you have it. So easy. Just water, and the watercolour paints, look, the better quality, sure, they move better, but when you're looking at $15, $20 a tube compared with $5 to buy 10 tubes of cheap stuff, start with the cheap stuff. Start is the thing. When you get into it and you enjoy it, then go for your better quality stuff. But for now, just start. So I've been having a little play, and I actually put some water on because I was taking off a mark, and I thought, oh, I quite like that little fuzzy look, so I'm just going to go around all my word, because remember they were an aqua pen, so they are water based, and I'm just going to see what comes out of that. Could be a mess, could be good, but if I don't experiment, I don't know. So sometimes you do these things and you go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, but that's part of the fun of it too. That's why we can't take it too seriously, because you are going to do things that you just go, oh, I wish I hadn't done that, I should have left it. And there is a thing that artists say, and that is know when to stop. And it is hard, because if you're having fun doing whatever you're doing, you don't want to stop. So you sort of start fluffing around and fluffing around, and then you get to this really nice spot, and then all of a sudden you fluffed around too much and you got something weird. But again, that's how you learn. So to finish it, I decided to put some more circles in with the aqua pen and just add an extra border. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching.